Hi everyone. I am so happy that you're here with me, not only today, but all the time. So I just want to say thank you for being here and being part of this community as the year starts to draw to a close. Something came up really strongly in my meditation this morning around what the community needed, and that's for us to sit here and talk for a little while about what crab mentality is. So the idea of crab mentality is that if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, each and every one of those crabs is perfectly capable of escaping that bucket on its own. But the phenomenon that happens is that as each crab starts to get out of the bucket, the other crabs pull it back in. And it doesn't matter what is needed, they get that crab back in. Sometimes legs come off or claws or whatever, but they don't let any of the crabs escape. During the holidays, this is the phenomenon that we get brought into with a lot of people that we have previous experience with. It could be family or old friends or just even old situations that have us relating in this way. So now that we're aware of it, how do we source ourselves so that we can get through it and even maybe change those patterns? First, we need to talk a little bit about why. Why does this happen? And the first thing, this is kind of our lizard brain mentality, and it's a survival mechanism. So we are born still into a human race that has tribe survival instincts. So what happens is, as a member of the tribe leaves, the other members of the tribe seek to pull them back in. And this comes sheerly from the idea that there is safety in numbers. So that's twofold, really. If there's a lot of people like you in the same place, it's less likely that you'll be singled out. That's the first thing. And in the past also, if there were larger numbers of people, if there was a fight, there would be more, you would be more apt to win based on the numbers that you had with you. So this is still a reptilian lizard brain kind of thing that the tribe has in terms of when someone starts to leave. The instinct is to pull them back in. This is a little bit of what happens when we're in our families. Every year, we're around people that we might not be around so often through the year, or maybe at all through the year. And they see the shifts and changes in us that happen sort of incrementally throughout the year. And it's almost like the ability to relate to us or to understand who we are or what we're doing eludes them. So they seek to pull us back into old behaviors, to old conversations. So we all know that one person in the family that tries to goad you into an argument by having the same old conversation over and over. The second part is, as we see someone grow and evolve, um, we have this sense sometimes of, oh my gosh, I'll never get there. I'll never be able to break free the way this person did. I will never be able to leave my situation. So there's sometimes a sense of hopelessness that happens. So if we then hold the other person back, we don't have to face that in ourselves. And another thing is that when we see somebody else growing and evolving, we have to naturally look at the places in us that are the opposite of that. The places where we're stuck, the places where our fears win, the places where there's shame, the places that we're scared to look at sometimes before we start something like a meditation practice. Very often we avoid a meditation practice just because we're not sure what's in there. And so this is another thing that happens with family and old friends when they see someone or they see us growing and evolving, is it triggers these things in them. It brings them to light so that they have to start looking at them and seeing maybe what doesn't fit for them anymore. And they just don't feel like they have the strength, the energy, or the ability to do that. It's not always the whole why, but this is part of the why. And so pulling us back into that bucket and goading us into the old behaviors and having us shift our vibration to one that's more comfortable to them is a way that people will seek to kind of avoid having to raise their vibration to where we are or shift their vibration to where we are. And these things can be very subtle. This can be something like somebody saying to you, oh, I made your favorite dish. And then there's that very subtle thing that happens when it's implied that, oh, I made your favorite and now you owe me something. There's that very subtle guilt, that very subtle thing that happens a lot of times. A lot of us here are feelers, right? So we walk into a place and we can feel everyone's discomfort. So we seek to remedy that, not only because we don't want other people to feel uncomfortable, but because we don't want to feel the discomfort that they're feeling, plus our own awkwardness. So it's much easier for us sometimes to just say, okay, I'm going to be the person that they think I should be now, instead of being this person who I've grown and evolved into. And so we take ourselves back to that place, and we then start to feel bad. We start to feel guilty or ashamed because we've really worked hard to become who we are, and we were so quick to give it away. So this is something we need to really be careful about. And we're going to talk about how to avoid doing this. So this isn't just about the problem. This is also about the solution. There's another piece here that really wants to come out. It's around knowing. The knowing of these things helps us to be in the compassion. So when we see other people trying to goad us into old behaviors, or when we start falling into old patterns, it's the understanding of the why that can help us to come from a place of compassion. Because this place of compassion is what is going to get us through this moment. If we can see Uncle Mel having the same old conversation, trying to goad us into an argument or a fight, as his fear of having to take the next step of evolution into his better self, then it's easier for us to understand why. And we don't go into that place of anger or frustration. We go into the place of, oh, Uncle Mel, I see you and I understand. And we don't get into the conversation, but we understand why. And it's so much easier to be in that space of compassion and hold our vibration. There's really something that wants to come through around this that I'm feeling into. It's the sense memory part. The holidays for so many of us are times where we are brought back to our childhood. We are brought back to the times that felt so good and so cozy, and we had these ideals of what life would be and what family should be. And for a lot of us, there's those cherished memories also. So smelling a certain scent, a certain meal cooking or cookies or whatever it is for you, can take you right back to the energy where you were the first time you smelled them. So you might be 5 years old. So also recognizing how powerful sense memories are for highly sensitive people. To give you an example, the other day I was hanging a decoration and I was watching something on TV, and now every time I look at that decoration, I think of the characters that were on that program. And so that's just a sense memory that stuck with me. And if it's something that simple and powerful, imagine what the powerful memories of the holidays have, the hold they have on you. So just knowing that sense memories can take you back to a previous version of yourself, and you'll be operating from that place. So we need to really be prepared for if and when that happens. When we know another person is acting a certain way based on their own fear and shame, and they're holding themselves in the energy. Remember, every single crab is perfectly equipped on its own to escape the bucket, right? So every single person is equipped on their own to work their ascension path, to change their energy, to change the things in their life that don't feel good to them anymore. And as we do that and we shift and change, they seek to bring us back down because they don't know how to rise. There's a few ways for us to do this. The awareness is the biggest part. Being aware that this is what's going on will help you, I think, like 80% of the way through, because you have the awareness. You can move into the compassion because you understand why it's happening. Some other really powerful ways to do that is if you have somebody that you really look up to, whether it be another person that you know, or a saint, or a deity, whatever that is for you, carry a picture of them with you. So what happens is that this is a person that you really want to be like, you want to emulate, you respect. So when you feel like you're going into a previous version of yourself, a previous imprint of who you are now, look at that picture and bring back those qualities of that person that you want to embody in that moment and in every moment of your entire life. Another way is for you to take some time as we go into the rest of this holiday season and into the new year, of thinking 5 qualities that you want to bring into every single interaction that you have. Okay, so those 5 qualities are on a list that goes with you all the time. And when you start to have an issue, you can think back to that list or you can pull it out and ask yourself, am I embodying these 5 qualities right now? And if not, what do I need to do in order to get myself to that place? Right? So there will be moments where we fall down on this, but we have the ability and the power to say, you know what? I need to take a pause here. And then we can go and pull out our picture and our list or call our friend and have a conversation with them. It's very helpful at this time of year to have a friend that you can call who knows you for the person that you are now, who understands who you are at this moment. So you can jump into that aspect of yourself in the middle of something going on, and they can hold you to the energy of who you are now. And then you can come back as that person again. And it felt important to talk about this because I see this a lot in interactions, especially amongst family at this time of year, the crab bucket mentality. And so if you have questions about this or you want to share anything, please leave it in the comments, and we'll get to that. It's not easy being highly sensitive at this time of year for several reasons, if not several thousand reasons. But knowing and understanding this phenomenon is a huge step on the path to being able to hold your own energy, being able to retain and maintain your sovereignty, and being able to give other people the dignity of their own process while you are in yours. And I think the most important thing that you can take away today before you go into more of these gatherings, because there's so many gatherings happening right now, is that I know each and every one of you is here to really affect change on this planet, and you want to affect change in whatever way possible. And I will tell you right now, the absolute greatest way to affect change is to be able to hold your own vibration, to be able to hold the energy the way you want to hold it, and keep inviting people to meet you where you are. If you're inviting people to meet you where you are, you're inviting them to have an elevated experience or a different experience. It's not better or worse, it's different. And experience the you that you are now instead of bringing yourself to an energy that doesn't feel right to you anymore. Because so many of us, like I said, walk into a room and adjust our energy to the room. It's time for you to be able to allow the people in the room to adjust their energy to you instead. You see the difference? It's a very, very powerful shift. And this is the greatest way that we can make an impact on this planet, because you're the one who spends time in reflection, in meditation, in prayer. Maybe they do too in their own way, maybe not. So this is their way and your way of meeting in a new place with a new energy. And you will know right away who's willing and who's not. And if they're not, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Those are people that are falling away, and you can detach from them with love and respect because you've offered them an invitation to come into your new space and they've declined. So I wish you all a happy and light-filled rest of the holiday season, and I'm sure we will talk again before the new year. I'm wishing you so much love, so much sovereignty, and so much of your own power in the next couple of weeks. We'll talk soon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Bye.